Right now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Okay, everybody. We're currently live, and welcome to Real Brothers Live. This is Real Brothers for the Real World, and I'm TL, and that's Stace.
Yo.
And Stace, let them know what we got going today, brother.
All right. We got a couple topics that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to put them out there. We have, are we doomed to repeat history? We're going to have a conversation about the youth. We had a guest that was going to join us, but I think our wires got crossed. So Ernest Brown is not going to be able to make it with us today, so we'll reschedule. We're going to talk about Karen. Karen is the phenomena that we're seeing where you have the white women claiming that they're being harassed, etc. We're going to talk about that. But lastly, Nike, we're going to talk about what's going on over there in Haiti, the Haitian issue. Right. So those are the four topics on the agenda. But also, I want to remind everybody, as we did last week, we have something that we're trying new with the format. Terry just put a link out of the white women, Facebook. So we invite you to click on the link, and you can join us on screen. Did you put that link out there, Terry?
I'm putting it out there right now, right as we speak.
So the link will be out there, and that's if you have some feedback regarding one of these topics, we invite you to join us. You can type it in the chat, but we really would like you to join us. I think this will give us a better opportunity to see each other and to interact. There's the link. I
actually just put it up. Yeah, there's the link. All you have to do is click on that link, and we'll let you into the stream, and you can ask your question or comment on whatever we're talking about, and we can make you, a historic part of the show. It'd be a save for posterity.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Please click the link. Yeah. We know that Real Brothers. We really like the feedback that we've been getting. But like I said, to be able to have a conversation with someone, the dialogue, I think is even better. So if you're on now and you have something that you want to say about one of the topics, please join in. All right. So Nike, you heard the four topics. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the youth issue since we were going to be joined? What are you thinking? Where do you want to start?
Well, yeah, let's hit the youth and get that, see what we can do about that. So I know we always talk about the youth on here, and I don't want to run it into the ground, but I think our youth are some of the people that we need to get more in tune with, because our youth are, not all of our youth, but a lot of our youth. I mean, there are some of our youth that's doing really good things out here, and we see that too.
Absolutely.
But the reason that we address the other side is just because we would like to see about, reining them in and getting them to where, their minds aren't as destructive and on, so much on hurting each other. Right. You know what I mean? Whether that's mentally, physically, or what.
One of the things Phil that went to school with us, he posted a topic today, or a post on Facebook, and I read it. My man Phil, it was profound, and basically what he was saying was that it's almost
Phil.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, no Phil.
Okay.
Kids don't seem to realize how the cause and effect. He was talking about how when you get involved with a bunch of nonsense, then it changes your life, because if you're involved with running the street and shooting and all that gunplay and everything, you can't be going to the barbecues. Your whole life changes. You can no longer go to barbecues with your family because now you're too open. And not only does it expose you to that nonsense, what happens a lot of times, as we're hearing, is that now it's bringing it home because you're seeing these other innocent people being caught in the crossfire.
Right.
It's like they
And then another thing is like a lot of time with these guys, and I've been in this situation, if they can't get to you, they'll try to get
right,
to
right,
somebody in your family. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right,
And the thing is, we got to stop all of this black on black crime, man.
right,
Like
right.
we it's like our culture hates it's eating itself alive. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like our community and our culture, we're killing each other. You
mhm,
know what I mean? So we're doing the job that the 1% want us to do,
right.
and we so stuck in our little our little gangster bubbles or whatever. I mean, our little I don't even know what the mentality is these
Right,
days.
right,
Like
right.
I know when I was younger, at least we when we
Got a
did
code.
stuff,
Yeah, we
we
got a
had
code.
we lived by a certain rule,
Right,
and we
right,
also it was because everybody was trying to get money. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
So a lot of the stuff, a lot of the I'm not saying that we didn't do stuff back in the day, but we did it in a more. Now we were wrong back then too, but what I'm saying is, like these guys are killing each other for
Right.
for nothing.
But you know what, Nike? Back then when it happened, when we talk about the when we talk about the crime bill, that's how that got started. Because remember, self destruction and those songs and everything came out because you had a lot of kids getting caught in the crossfire of these drug wars. And then when that started happening, that's when the community started saying you have to do something. Something
Right.
has to
And
give.
that's why, and we're right back. We
Right
never
back,
left
right.
that.
That's right. Right.
We never escaped that cycle of killing each other. We've been
Right.
doing this since the 70s. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying. We have to approach it we have to approach it differently, because if we keep approaching it the same way, we're gonna get the same results, which is nothing. You
But
know what I mean?
the difference is now though there's so many. It seems to me that there's so many more weapons and guns on the street now. In addition to the callousness of the people. Like you said back then,
Right,
if you were out there or you standing on the corner, like you said, and an adult walk by, you move and let the adult go, or you curb your language a little bit. You know,
right,
now uh it's like there's no the compassion seems to be gone. So
right. There's
people
no
just don't care.
empathy, no compassion,
Right,
no manners.
right, no
You know what I
manners.
mean?
Right, right,
And also, like speaking of back in the day, this is part of the reason why it's like that. Because you
right,
remember, we lost a whole generation of parents to crack cocaine back in
right,
the 80s and 90s, right?
right, right.
So they were the kids that's out here doing a lot of the wild shit now
Hmm, hmm.
are the same kids that you was telling to get out the street
That's
because
right.
his mom was somewhere on crack, or what I mean, that's the same shorty that you
Hmm.
seen on the corners out there in the street at like 2 and 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these is them same
Right.
kids, and now they're adults, and
It's coming
they
back
have
to
no they have
yeah.
no they have no morals, they have nobody that showed them anything. So what you expect them to do, really? I mean, you know what I mean? They out there trying to eat just like everybody else, but they don't have no they don't have no means of of expressing themselves. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? All they got is that gat they carry with them. You
Hmm.
feel me?
Or at
Like,
least that's what they think.
oh, that's what they think.
They
Right,
think
right.
that's all they have.
They
You
think,
know.
right.
I just want to. Somebody asked about coming on. Charmaine Sutler. I want to let
Uh-huh.
her know that I sent the link to her inbox. So check that out, and then you could join us. I think she's going to join us on the air. Um,
Okay. Can't you just
again,
ping it in the just ping it in the I'll ping it in the chat too, just
okay,
so they'll
okay.
have it.
You know what, Nike? I think something you said earlier, though, man, it's true. It came full circle because it seems like we're right back where we were before, and it's gotten even worse. Now, one of the reasons why it may have gotten worse, though, is the sheer speed that news travels around the world. So we're probably hearing about it a lot quicker than we did before.
What's
But
that?
I mean, just crime and how. Okay, you put it in the link. The link
Yeah.
is in the comment. So click on the link, and then you'll be able
I
to join
screwed
us.
it up. I'm gonna put it in there again.
Okay. You know why? Because unfortunately, I'm at the point now where I'm saying the same thing that I'm sure the adults were saying then. You have to do something. Something has
Right.
to give. We can't keep doing what we're doing. You know,
Right.
like I say, there are more guns on the street. The kids now are a little different than they were before. So you know, we have to do something. You know,
And that's
something.
why I had wanted to get Ernest on the show, because I commend him for the work that he's doing with building up the youth. They just had a learn how to tie your tie event, and he said that was pretty successful. I had just wanted to get him on, to talk about catching these kids early, because that's when you really got to
Gotta get them on.
that's
Right.
when you really got to get into a kid's life,
Yeah.
is in the early years, you know what
And
I mean?
also, you and I had a conversation off air before we came on, and one of the things that we realize is that a lot of time it's the lack of hope. You know, kids, if they don't think that there's anything out there for them, they're gonna continue to do what they're doing. You know,
Right.
so someone has to let them know that there are other options. And like you just said though, Nike, Ernest, Phil, there are a lot of programs, a lot of people out there doing good works. Guy Lang.
Right.
There are a
Right.
lot of people out there
Yeah.
doing good works, but something has to give. We can't, this can't continue. This can't continue.
Unfortunately, it's going to continue unless people like us, people like you said, like the people you just mentioned, we got to go in there and we got to try to, we got to open our arms to these dudes, man, because they don't really have, a lot of these guys don't really have nobody substantial in their life, man. Because if they did, they, what I mean, they would feel a lot differently, and they would have more respect for life in general. You know what I mean?
I was at the barbershop the other day, and the dude came in. He's one of the barbers. He said something. He said something along those lines. He said, a lot of these kids, especially young men, they don't have men guiding them. So
Right.
anybody else trying to say something to them, they're looking at them saying, "Yo, who? You're not my dad."
Right.
What he said was that a lot of these kids, these young boys, they have anger built up in them from that's really towards their fathers that are maybe absent.
From when they were children.
Correct.
But,
Right.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So if any of y'all young guys is out here listening to us, man, we not trying to do you no harm.
No.
Our arms are open just because we care about you and we care about our society.
Community. Right. Our community.
We care about our
we've
community.
been there. We've been there.
And one of the reasons we started this podcast is that we come from where you come from.
That's right.
And we figured that, you may be able to relate to us a little bit better than you be relating to, some guy sitting up on TV in a suit, or some guy, that you really have nothing in common with.
Right.
Like, I'm from 32nd in York. Stacey's from down 16th in Susquehanna, 17th in Susquehanna. So
19th and North,
19th and North. But I'm just, well, that's where we hung out at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? Like, we from down there. Like, we from North Philly, and even if you listening and you're not from Philly, or you from some other hood, trust me when I say that our hood is the same as your hood, or it could have been even worse.
It was worse.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So what my point is that we would like to guide you out of the misery that you may be in, or that you may be feeling. You know what I mean? We can guide you out of the darkness and open your mind up. because part of being unhappy or depressed or angry is all up here, man. Is all in how you deal with your past, is all in how you deal with your present, and it's all about how you deal with your future.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we can help you with that. I mean, we post our numbers, we post our, we're easy to get in contact with, and we would like to help
Well,
whoever we can.
and also we ask, tell us what you need. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I mean, we still have limits.
Yeah,
so
don't come up like, TL, man, I need $20 the next week.
Right,
No, that's not.
Yeah.
No, bro,
Right.
that's not.
But
Not what we talking about, man.
Right. And one of the things I realized is that, like we just said, though, there's a lot of programs out there that are set up to help people through. Guy and I were talking, and we're going to try to work on this now. An expungement clinic. Like I told you, like, man, look, I need to get my work done. I mean, man,
right. Well, I
have a record. I have a record, and I shouldn't. Well, y'all, we should.
Well, good luck with that.
Maybe we should stick with me.
Yeah.
But we want to do this expungement clinic, man. So our point is that there are a lot of programs and a lot of people out there that are out there waiting for you to reach a hand out to provide help. But if we don't know what you're looking for and what you need and what you want, then we can't help.
Right, exactly.
Right. As she just said, Eric Marsh said, connect with others already doing the work. Right. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. If there's something out there that works, then reach a hand out, and then we'll do everything we can. And there are a lot of people out there that would do everything they can to help guide you. But you have to speak up. You speak up, because unfortunately, the situation that a lot of us find ourselves now is not sustainable, and it only ends up one or two ways.
Right.
Either long prison terms or 6 feet deep. So we have to do something. Eric Marsh, click on the link and join us, man. You have a lot of with that last one. A lot of youth don't know about programs out there for them, and that's our point.
That's true. Yeah,
they don't.
That's another thing that we're. Hey, Eric, I'm sending you that link right now. It's right in the chat.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste that into your browser, and you will let you in.
A lot of things, a lot of people don't know, and I think what's funny, like, and Guy and I talk about this. It's like a disconnect, because the people that have, a lot of times, the people that have the ability to help aren't, as you and Guy always say, aren't where the folk are.
Exactly.
But the people that are out, down there where the folk are, aren't connecting with the people that can help them. So that's why we're saying, reach a hand out and have the conversation, and then at least start it from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is not sustainable. So
it's not. Yeah, it's not.
And I gotta admit, I'm tired of hearing about innocent people, being killed. That burns me up.
Well, where I stand on that. I mean, that's why my baby boy ain't here today.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it saddens me that this community, we can't handle some of these issues before they result in violence. When I was coming up, she's from 18th and Burks, so she's around my
Hey, Charmaine, click that link, man. Click that link. We would love to talk to you on the air.
And she's right. A lot of times, but that's, you talk about a cold night. Before, there have been times,
you too, Eric. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
There were times when two people come into blows, and we get together. It's like, yo, but this is my man, and you say this other one, this is my man. No, you're all family.
Right.
And it's squashed.
Yeah.
It's squashed. You could vouch for someone.
Back in the day, you remember we used to slug it out.
Oh yeah,
get everything off your chest,
and then the next day you bust.
Next day, or after the fight, yo, let's go get a 40 or something. Let's go get us something to drink. You know what I mean? Then we was hanging out.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
right here. All right,
All
Eric
right, here
Marsh.
go Eric. We're gonna hear from
Going
Eric
down.
Marsh right quick.
We can bring him
All
on.
right, Eric.
What's up? Oh, I think you took him off.
How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up, Eric? How
How
you
you
doing,
doing,
man?
I'm great. I'm great. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah. Were you on a bike,
Yeah,
man?
we can hear you.
You
Huh?
riding a bike? It looked like you riding
Riding
a
a bike.
bike.
Oh man, I'm chilling.
Oh, okay.
Chilling out.
How you doing?
I'm trying to soak up a little bit of this summer while we still got it.
Yeah. Don't
I
remind
hear
me,
you.
man. Please don't remind me about this winter. So, what are your thoughts now? Did you heard the 4 topics that we put out there? You got something to say about what we're talking about now with the youth, or what are your thoughts, man?
Well, just in terms of the youth, let me just say, and I want to make sure I got my mic because
We
it's
can
a
hear you.
little low. But
Right.
let me just say, like, one, I appreciate what you brothers are doing, and I didn't hear the very beginning of the show and all the topics, but what you were saying, just in terms of wanting to be supportive around Black people's mental health, mental well-being, trying to be
Right.
supportive. This idea of doing an expungement clinic. One of the reasons why I put that comment in the chat about connecting with other people doing the work is because one thing I've found about Philadelphia specifically, as much craziness that's going on, we have 5 to 10 times as much positivity. And it's
right.
a lot of people out here doing the work of the expungement work.
Right.
There's a resource, I don't know if you brothers heard of, called participatory defense hubs. And those hubs are resources located around the city. I think there's up to 7 or 8 now at this particular point in time.
What is that? Can you explain what that is?
Say that again.
Can you briefly
Can you
explain
explain
what
what the
that is?
participatory hub?
It's called the Participatory Defense Hub.
Oh, okay.
And there's one located in Zion Church on North Broad Street near Broad and Erie.
Okay, yeah, Zion Baptist.
And what it is, it's basically a resource that people who are facing any type of legal challenges, or the family members of people who are facing legal challenges, can go there for free legal advice.
Wow.
And they can then in turn also connect you to different organizations that might be doing expungement clinics and things like that. So my brother Reuben Jones from Frontline Dads is part of that North Philly Participatory Defense Hub. But like I said, there's many others located around the city. That's just one resource from one person that I can share here with you.
Yo, put if you have a phone number, man, put it up there, and we'll put it up there. So you're talking about before a decision is made, as far as before you get in front of a judge, you're meeting with possible defense attorneys to work on your case, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Wait a minute, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. It was a setting on here that was messing up the audio. I had to turn off. What did you say about the defense attorney?
I said, so this is a little proactive, because this is prior to getting in front of a judge. So this is working on your defense to hopefully prevent a guilty verdict.
It is. It's more than that, right? So it's not just for people as a setup or preparation for getting in front of a judge. I'm going to give you a personal example of how I personally was able to use the participatory defense hub. It's a mouthful, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
I had a young relative who was actually arrested and detained for something he had already served time for. And he was supposed to be up to be released, and they were holding him past the time that they said he was going to be released. And so we were able to go to the Participatory Defense Hub at Zion Church in North Philadelphia, talk to the professionals. And by the way, a lot of these people are volunteers. Some of them are retired lawyers. Some of people are with lived experience, returning citizens, and able to get recommendations about how to handle this case, so that when we appeared in court, the charges weren't necessarily dropped per se, but they were found that he had served the time that he was supposed to serve, and he was released shortly after that. So this is really just community helping community members understand the legal system and how to navigate it. Everything from people who are detained prior to being arraigned to anyone with like specific legal cases that they might need advice on. So I don't want
Okay.
to oversell it, but it's definitely something to look to. And if I can pull the link up, I'll share it in the chat with you guys.
Okay, please do.
Okay, all right,
I put the
yeah,
name up there.
we'll definitely get that up there. And we thanks a lot, Eric, for your information.
Wait a minute. Before you go, Eric, before you
Yeah.
go, hey, Nike, let's move this on to the next one. What do you think, man? While we got him up here, Eric is pretty
Yeah.
opinionated. All right, Eric.
All right, Eric.
What you got? What you got for me?
The next 3 issues, you choose one and give us your feedback. Are we doomed to repeat history? Karens, or the issue? What's going on with the issue with Haiti?
Oh, are we doomed to repeat history?
You want to go with that one?
Yes, I want to go with that one because
All
it's
right.
something that's been on my heart, my mind for a long time. I've been involved in a lot of community education programs and supporting public education, everything from you name it, right? From helping my kids in preschool to actually serving as a community educator myself. And I feel like we are doomed to repeat history, particularly because we're not effectively teaching our history to the next generation. Right. And I want to connect this to something that's in the news, particularly critical race theory, and why Republicans and conservatives and other misinformed people are latching on to critical race theory so hard is because they know that it's almost a perfect scenario for examining American history and how racism is rooted in America. Right. So they know how perfect it is to be able to examine. That's why it's called critical, right? It's and to understand the concept of racism as a theory, as a practice, and how it's operationalized. And so the people that want to keep Black children ignorant, and
whitewash history,
and keep control over our communities.
Right.
They want to do
all part of the programming that I've been preaching about.
They want to do so by keeping us ignorant.
Right. What amazes me, though, what amazes me is how, and I didn't want to use the word. It's stupid. How stupid is it that someone can actually say, "Let's not teach history"? That within itself, you would think that for someone to have the gall to even utter those words is within itself, you would think that they would lose every ounce of credibility if they had.
But Stace, this is the game that people play. No one has ever made that statement. What they're saying is, we're not going to teach white kids to hate themselves. That's the line that they're using.
Right. The same way that they've taught Black and Hispanic kids that they're inferior.
Right.
You understand? Or that that they can't succeed.
It's a lie. What it is, it's a lie of omission. Right? We're not telling the truth. We're not saying all that. We're just not going to let you talk about the truth. Right.
Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I think it's important for us to look at this as a pattern of behavior, right? Because we just got out of a Trump presidency, right? And how do we get in a Trump presidency? We got white backlash from a Black presidency, right? And so if you start looking at the pattern of behavior over the last easily 16 years, you'll see that there's been these little victories that Black and brown people and liberal people have made, where we start tearing down Confederate statues and taking down Confederate flags. And what's happened? We start getting the pushback. And that pushback is part of, you're not going to tell us how, one, that we're racist and how bad we are, even though that's like a Freudian slip. And that they're telling themselves that they know how bad they are. You just can't tell me about it. You know what I
mean? And so, Eric, one of the reasons that we came up with this topic, there's a show on Netflix called
How to Be a Tyrant. 3-part series.
And it goes over the lead up to Hitler, Mussolini. All of these leaders, like even the one
Kim Jong
in
Un,
Africa. Yeah,
Idi
Kim
Amin,
Jong
Yeah.
Un,
Idi
Idi
Amin.
Amin, all
Idi
these
Amin.
guys, right?
Hmm.
There's a specific playbook that are
Yes.
used by these guys,
Yes.
and there is a big similarity in this documentary about all these different guys and the similarities of how they
What they
came to
did, how they came
power.
to power, right?
Yes.
Is a lot of similarities in that same way on how Trump came to power.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So that tells me that there is a specific playbook that's used in order to get the.
Came
That's why I
power.
said, like, we are in jeopardy of history repeating itself.
Well, let me just throw
And then
this piece in.
in all of these cases, there's a scapegoat. There's a people that has been used as scapegoats.
Absolutely. Yep.
Real
So,
peace.
Absolutely.
we have to be careful that we're not scapegoated the next time history repeats itself.
But listen, we got to be more proactive than that. I'm gonna challenge you and say, if we can show a pattern and a plan and a process for putting a tyrant into place, we
Mm.
can devise a pattern and a plan to keep one out,
Right,
right?
exactly.
If you know, it's just like chess. If you
Right.
know the
Right.
moves of
Right.
If
your
you know what's
of your
coming,
opponent,
right,
you
exactly.
know how to counteract it
But so
before
many
that,
of our people
Right.
are asleep. So
which is
many
And
of
why.
our people are still mentally enslaved and being controlled by the media
That's why I brought
and
up the
everything
education
like that.
piece.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
But
Yeah.
but the
yeah.
other
So
side of that is that the premise of the question is, like you said, I mean, if you don't know your history, then you
you're
don't
destined to
know these
repeat it.
things are coming down. Right? You don't know these things are coming down the pike. Eric, we got our next caller in, man. We're
Yes,
glad
brother.
you clicked on the link. It was good
Thanks
to
for
see you.
joining us, Eric. We
No,
appreciate you,
absolutely.
bro.
Good.
All
I
right.
love you, brothers. Appreciate
Okay.
y'all.
Hey,
Have a good
Next
night.
time to come up. If you want to join us again, man, hit us back up. All right.
I will.
Thank,
Thank you.
All
all
right.
right now.
Hey,
Yeah, we can.
Charmaine, how's it going?
oh man, it's going well. It's going well. I
Glad you're able to join us.
absolutely, absolutely. As a person who one lives in the neighborhood and works in the neighborhood, I'm just like astounded every single day that my citizen app goes off, or I'm just walking
Right.
into or stumbling upon situations because growing up in this neighborhood, I live on Susquehanna now, so
Mm,
Susquehanna was just my byway to Mansion. So I would just
right.
get down
Right.
to 18, jump on the bus, and I'd be at Mansion.
Hmm.
But I'm from 18th Street. I just remember, like, life being simpler, where the community dealt with things like
That's
we,
right.
we banded together. Now,
Mhm.
I mean, I literally didn't even want my son to go to 13th and Susquehanna to
That's
school
what's tough.
from
Right.
20th
Yeah.
Susquehanna because he didn't know anybody.
Right.
Right.
He
Right.
didn't
You have to consider that.
recognize our family name. So
Mm,
your family
mm,
name meant a lot because people knew who you were by your family, and we
mm.
was associated in that way. So now it's like,
Yeah.
And I think that, and Charmaine, I think what you said is kind of why I said what I said earlier, that something has to change because my son, my youngest son, is celebrating his 11th birthday. It was Friday. We're celebrating today. And it's the same thing. There's a park up the street from us.
right.
And, I let him go. We allow him to go, but it's a thought. You
Right.
think about that. It's a
Right.
scary thought. He might be on his bike. I tell him, when you get there, call me when you get there, or text me when you get there.
Right.
Right.
I find myself sometimes hopping on my bike, just riding by, making sure that I see him.
Right.
Because there's so much violence and this indiscriminate danger that our kids are exposed to. That's why I say something has to change.
And
Something
the
has to
thing that's
give.
crazy about it is, see, like, other folks don't live that way. We
Right,
we
right,
we
right.
seem to think that it's normal for us to live that way, and it's not.
And
You
that's
know,
that's
you
that,
know what I mean?
that is
That's
so
the
true.
sad part about it.
That is
You know
so
what I mean?
true. That is
Like,
Right.
so
our kids should be able to go to an event, go to a block party, go to a party, and not have to worry about, okay, is somebody gonna come in and shoot up the party, or
Right.
somebody going, you know what I mean? That
right.
Right.
shouldn't even be a thought. That, like, the way our community is, we have been accustomed to all of the violence, or we have been,
Desensitized.
yeah,
Desensitized. Right,
desensitized to it.
right.
Because, when you're not in that environment and then you suddenly have to be in that environment,
Right, that's
you're
right.
like, damn, what is going
Right,
on here?
right,
Like, you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
But then when you come from that environment and you go somewhere else, you're like, well, why is it so quiet around here? You know what I mean? You don't understand, like, because you think,
Right.
like, damn, man, where everybody
Right.
at? Yeah, that.
And
Charmaine, go ahead. Go ahead.
I did a Zoom with State Representative Morgan Cephas and our West. I have a coalition, a Drug Free Communities Coalition, which were funded by the federal government. Is to reduce substance use among youth in West Philadelphia,
Wow.
Overbrook section of West Philadelphia specifically, and we did a Zoom. Basically, just trying to have a candid conversation with our young people about violence. We had the DA's office CARES program on there. We had there's also another program at the DA's office, and just talking about how do we as a community become better equipped with just making sure that we are taking care of one another. The services
Right.
is like Eric was talking about. Knowing what resources is there, and Eric is definitely an awesome resource. I work with Nicetown Tioga. That's one of my.
Nice.
I'm just like some of this stuff seems so simple to me,
Right.
because of the way I was raised and how I grew up.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out, why can't it really get as simple as each one teach one? Somebody needs to take somebody by the
Because we got so much other programming that is controlling our kids right now and our community. Like, we get so much programming from the TV, cable news, the internet, social media, all that. If you take a look at all that stuff, if you unplug from that for a little while and just go out and live your life, right? Just unplug for that for like a week. You'll see the difference of your life, and how you think. Like, how you think will be like, well, I know I hear this, I got this coming in, but I've been living for a whole week and all I've seen is this.
But Knight,
I mean?
how do you unplug with it then? If you're living in it, how do you unplug from it? Is that
you can unplug from the brainwashing? You can unplug. Hey, turn the TV off and pick up a book about Black history, or get off the social media for a little while and do some research into your own history.
But is that not being in tune to what's actually happening around you, though? It's not like these things, if you don't know about them, that means that they're not going on, though. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't say hide from it. What I said is unplug for a little while. Get to know yourself. True. Know what you can do. Like, most of these kids out here, you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know.
Right.
Like, you have to
play a YouTube or a rapper.
Right. You have to be able to get to know your own mind. You have to be able to unplug from all of this, not all these outside white noises, and focus on, what do I want to do with my life?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's never too young to start that. You know what I mean? And the younger you can get somebody focused,
the better chance, right?
The better chance they have of succeeding.
Later
you know what I mean?
Now, Charmaine, is your organization still? Are you still doing your organization? Is it still moving?
Absolutely. The organization I work for is called To Our Children's Future with Health. So I'm the director of grants management, community development, also the director of services, which my director of services position has me over youth programs. So we service K to 12th grade. So our 9th through 12th grade youth, they do workforce readiness stuff. Our middle school youth, things on social emotional learning, try to prepare them for getting into high school. And then our K to 5th grade is all of it is academic, but we do a lot of academic work with them, type of work, just to really, help them out a little bit. But then the collaborative building is the other piece that I do.
Okay, and these are all youth. What is the oldest? What is the oldest age that of a kid that's in your program?
So our youth we go up to 12th grade, so we might have kids who hadn't graduated yet. So
Okay.
easily
17,
19
18.
years old,
Okay.
and then with our drug-free community program, which we call Philly on the Come Up, we're utilizing our graduates. So we have graduates that are in the Army, that are in the Navy. We have graduates that are off the college,
Nice.
and they're still linking back to the coalition to try to change the narrative. So our youth are really trying to change the narrative about young people, because not everybody is out here in these things, and so many positive kids, they just scared to engage because they
That's
don't
right.
target it.
That's right.
Correct.
All right, Karen, two things. When you get a chance, put the link of your organization, name of an organization in the link so that everyone can see it. All right, second thing, Terry, what do you think? You ready to move to the next one? If that's the case, we're gonna give Karen the Karen. We're gonna give Charmaine the opportunity.
Charmaine. Hey, Charmaine. So what we had touched on a little bit is like I was saying, we saw this documentary on
Not that one. We have the next two topics.
Yeah. Did we touch on history repeating itself?
Yep. The two that we have left, Charmaine. Right. Charmaine gave the thumb up. We did that one. I think
my bad.
Terry got a bad habit of falling asleep, Charmaine. You caught him. I think he nodded off. All right. The two we have left, Charmaine, we're going to give them to you, and you let us know which direction you want to go in. All right. Okay. The first one is Karen. That's the situation where we seen the video, the girl in Victoria's Secret, the white lady that fell, all that. And the second one is what's going on in Haiti, the situation in Haiti. Which one do you want to tap into?
Well, I will say, because I haven't got myself up to par with Haiti, that would be, even though I have an opinion about what I've seen,
Right.
what I've heard. I'm sorry, but regards to this Karen situation.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
As a mother of mostly young men and a sister of many brothers and cousins, I just, and then the young ladies too, I just feel like, I feel like this whole thing has gotten so out of order. Like, you could just, I just feel like we back in my grandmom's era. You know what I mean? Where people can make a phone call and be like,
Right.
Joe spoke to Sally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now Massa out here with the whip and we got the lynch because somebody spoke to somebody. I'm like, yeah, we are repeating time, because my son shouldn't be worrying about my son, engaging with somebody that we're light-skinned folk. My husband's family, they could be, white. I have family, my family members as white. So at the end of the day, you have to be scared to engage with somebody of another color, another race, because fear that they're going to contact the police and have you arrested and all types of stuff for nonsense. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, the audacity of and this time I'm speaking specifically about the lady in the Victoria's Secret. She's yelling. First, she ran up on the sister, tried to attack her. And then she started, when she saw that didn't work because the sister wouldn't stop videotaping her, now she's falling on the ground, screaming at the top of her voice and just calling
and then she tried to attack her even more. You know what I mean?
But the audacity, what does that say about her? The fact that she thought that she could simply say, I'm going to call the cops. She called the cops and made up a lie.
But she was the one in the wrong.
Right, I know, but what is on? I know what's on her mind, but the audacity.
It's privilege, and
that's white privilege.
Close to systemic racism.
True. Right.
See, a lot of white people don't even realize that they have white privilege.
Right,
they don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
just because they're used to, that's the way they're used to living. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
but that just goes to show you, if you call the police on me, an African American woman, then they're not going to come in here.
You do not get the benefit of the doubt, right?
Right.
They'll come in straight, be like, you did this because, you know what I mean? Like, no, we didn't do that today. Like,
right.
And especially, and I'm, sometimes I feel like me working with the youth, I'm like, these cell phones is really not the thing.
Right.
It's really aggravating. But now
Thank
it's,
God.
it's like a blessing and a curse because
That's right.
you can record real time with
Right.
because
Exactly.
you can't
That's
lie
right.
with time in the day
Nope.
on the cell phone camera. You can't.
Right.
And I feel like these folk, they really being exposed for their behavior, and I think this
They've
is
been doing
behavior
this, right?
they've been doing anyway. And they,
And
Right.
with the and what's terrible is, and now they're crocodile tears because as soon as they get caught, or like the other one that did it, the guy that did it in
Right.
Jersey, the first thing they want to do is apologize. And I get it. An apology is supposed to mean something, but in this instance, the only reason why you're apologizing is because you got caught.
keep it
You
right.
know,
Exactly. Right.
so those are
Exactly.
crocodile tears. They don't mean anything because
It's all fake.
you don't mean it. You just doing whatever you can to work the system to get off.
It's part of the
Right.
it's part
Right,
of propaganda. And
right. It's a part of the play,
and
and it's
right.
terrible.
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I told
But that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these people don't realize even like what white privilege is. And now that we have cell phones and all that, like, cause this is not a phenomenon that just started happening. This shit been happening for years.
Will
But
Smith
now
we just catch it.
we catching them on video, and we catching them on, like, that's the same thing with the Emmett Till thing. That's the same thing when they burned down Black Wall Street.
True.
It's exactly the same. Over a white woman saying, "Oh, he looked at me wrong," or he did something, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exact same. It's been happening for forever.
And what I
now
like
we
to
get that
see,
shit on tape. Right.
and what I like to see is when they start losing their jobs, because I think that there has to be consequences for doing those types of things. Because really, with the way things are now, not only are you calling the police on someone that was innocent, that when those police officers come, a lot of time they come with guns in hand.
right.
So really, you're jeopardizing this person's life.
Right.
So for you to dream up this tale and try and attack this black person like that, you need to lose your job. There should be
there should be a law where if you call some police officer for some nonsense and they have proof that you started it, or you called the police on some that kind of bullshit, then you should go to jail.
I was going to say it now. If you really do check, now when our kids used to play on the phone and call 911,
right,
end up in court. So there's consequences for these actions.
That's right.
It's what is being upheld. And
Right.
that, to me, goes back to systemic racism, because the system, there are rules and regulations, processes, procedures for these types of things, just like perjury.
Right. That's right. That's right. You're right.
Prosecuted for perjury.
That's what Eric just said. Right.
Right. But see, the laws are they are executed differently for us than they are for them.
They pick and choose the ones that they want to prosecute.
Right.
All right, Charmaine, thank you very much for joining. I'm glad you were able to join us.
We appreciate you.
Yes, we appreciate it.
We hope you keep listening, and we hope you enjoying our show.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care now.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Nike. We got one more.
All right, so we got the Haiti issue.
The Haiti issue.
Right.
Yes.
So,
real quick, just to kind of surmise, the president, the Haitian president, someone broke in his house, I guess maybe a couple weeks ago, and murdered him. They executed him and seriously injured his wife. When the perpetrators did it, they were yelling DEA and trying to say that they were American DEA. That's what they were yelling when they killed him. And they shot his wife. She survived and was taken to a hospital in the States.
Right.
So right now, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty. I guess is a better word. There's a lot of uncertainty in the country now. But this is the last thing that I want to say. Wait, let me get this last part out. And with all of this uncertainty, the Haitian, I don't know if it was the people or the government, asked for military assistance from the Biden administration. And the Biden administration sent or will be sending investigators and FBI, but they say they will not send military into the country. So who you about to say, Nike? Was that
I
a
was
yawn?
saying that. No, that wasn't a yawn. I was taking a long breath of air. I was just trying to get the.
You on video?
I'm trying to breathe. No.
You trying to Karen me?
No, but what I'm saying, like with Haiti, we got to be careful of how we think about Haiti, because one thing, and we first of all let's just realize that Haiti was the first black democratic run country.
Mm-hmm. They rebelled,
right? Like fully democratic, fully black country. And this was all the way back since 1804, right? So once they became a democratic country, they didn't, they separated from England, they separated from France, they separated from the U.S., and they established their own, democracy. But in order to run that country, their leaders had to borrow money, right? So they borrowed from France, they borrowed from England, they borrowed from the U.S. So then, like, once you start borrowing money from other countries, especially countries like the U.S. and England, those countries really own you now. So a lot of the turmoil that country has been through has been because of corruption, and not just their government corruption, but corruption coming from other governments as well. So I'm not quick to say that, that America or England or France didn't have something to do with killing their leader. You know what I mean? So,
well, now it's a little bit. I think that I thought, and I could be wrong. I don't have the thing to look up. I thought that the last country that they owed money to was still France. They were, whatever interest rate or however they calculated that was just overbearing, and it stopped the country or prevented the country from growing.
Well, the country has since those earthquakes that wiped out those towns and everything. They've been given. Haiti has been given billions of dollars,
France
just from that. But the thing is, the corruption, that billions of dollars have gone to American companies that's supposed to go over there and rebuild. That money has gone to other corporations that were supposed to come in and help rebuild.
But
government officials taking that money. So they've been given a lot of money to rebuild, but the money hasn't gotten to the people that it needs to get to.
But I think the thought that they asked for military assistance, though, I get when people say the United States is not the policeman of the world and bring the troops home and everything. I am not opposed to sending military troops to another country, especially when you're talking about turmoil or the government being overrun and the residents, they're not able to eat and things like that. You know what I mean? When you're talking about so much turmoil, the presence of a stable military, a military presence can help to normalize certain things. So I'm not completely opposed to sending troops over to help things get stabilized, because can't govern in chaos.
But we have to ask, though, is that really what they're doing? You know what I mean? Because look at the people of Haiti ever since, first they had the I think it was it Andrew and one of those hurricanes tore the place up. Then it was the earthquake, tore the place up. Those people are suffering right now.
Right.
This wasn't no like overnight thing that happened. These people have been suffering over there for a long time. And the thing is, they're suffering not for no reason, but because of greedy people.
But do you? But is the answer then to not do anything though? And again, you can't govern in chaos though. If now it becomes a situation where it's survival of the fittest, that's not sustainable either. So to send over a military to help the situation at least stabilize so that you can provide services and get
What
water
services are they going to provide Haiti, Stace?
well
They can't even. So the only thing that they would do is go over there and oppress those people like they're oppressing people here.
see, but if that's not what they're going, but that's not what they're going there for though. They're not going there to. They My thought is that they're going there, say, to protect.
If they send troops over,
let me finish this
okay,
statement.
all right.
I'm thinking that they go over there, and I think that one of the government officials said to go over there to say protect supermarkets, go over there to protect infrastructure, the water treatment plant, things like that, so that the government can the country can still function. Because if supermarkets are being looted time and time again, now you're talking about the breakdown of society, and that's what I'm saying. You can't govern in chaos. You see what I'm saying?
Haiti gets right now. You're talking about the supermarkets, right? People are barely even have money to go to a supermarket. Right now, Haiti gets their rice from Arkansas, right?
Right.
Those people should have been had intervention. Those people should have been had a stable government from all of the money that was provided to them for what's his name? What's the
Clinton?
No,
Clinton?
the singer. What was his name?
Oh, Akon. You talking about that's from there?
Not
No,
Akon. One who plays the guitar. He was on the song with Mary J. Blige. John Clef.
Yeah, John, right. Yeah. What about him?
Wyclef.
What about him?
He did a big tour over, fundraiser for them, and they made all this money, but the money went to the wrong places.
See now that and that's kind of what Erica's saying. The U.S. will be pointless because the Haitian system is already in chaos.
Right.
See, but again, the answer then is to not do nothing though. I don't think you could do that. That country is within our hemisphere. I think that the United States, now I don't think that you can go in and change the structure of the government. And
what would you think they can do there, though?
I think that they can go there. Look at it this way, almost like the Red Cross. Set up an infrastructure where when that rice comes in from Arkansas, or if it goes into the supermarket and the people don't have money, you set up a situation where each families can come in and that rice is disseminated. So at least now that people are getting. Yeah, Wyclef, we said that. Some of the people are getting. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Sean. I just don't. I don't think that doing nothing is the answer, and I don't propose going over and trying to change.
If they are going to be a democratic nation states, they have to figure a way. They have to work it out amongst themselves. That's what a democratic nation is.
See, but okay, two things. They asked for assistance. The government asked for military assistance. But the other question is, though, so are you saying the answer then is to do nothing?
I'm not saying no. What my answer is,
you said let them work it out.
They have to work it out. They have to be in charge of their democratic system, because if another country comes in and intervene, they gonna want a piece of that corruption pie. That's the way it works. So, like, if you have people in your own country and they're fighting it out and they're doing, what they need to do, then how you don't need an intervention from somebody else's government.
See now,
So the
and that,
Haitian people can represent the Haitian people.
but Nike, but that's partially what happened. Even in Afghanistan, what they did was they went in and they
Afghanistan's a
the
different
government said
situation.
no,
Afghanistan's a
I
totally
know that,
different
but no,
situation. Totally different.
but you didn't let me finish, Nike. You
There's
didn't let
no
me finish.
Al Qaeda type. There's
No,
no
Let
Nike,
Al
me finish.
Qaeda right
you
now.
didn't let me finish what I was saying. What I'm
Okay, all
saying
right.
is that if we're providing aid to a country, part of the response is if you want to continue to receive this aid, then you have to start working on stomping out corruption, different things like that. That if you're providing aids, now you have some leverage. But my bottom line is that I don't think that the answer is not doing anything. Eric, you want
Hey,
to
What
chime
if
in?
the very
all right,
people
so
that
hold
are
on.
providing? Wait. What
Let
if
me
the
jump in
very
real quick.
people that are providing the aid are corrupt? You get what
Yes.
I'm saying,
Okay,
Let
go
me
ahead.
Space?
let me
Go
let
ahead,
me.
Eric.
I think there's like a little bit of a disconnect in terms of understanding all the relationships at work, right? So Stace, you do have a point, and you're arguing a moral point about
Mm.
the fact that the U.S. should jump in, right? But the
To do
problem
something. Hmm.
historically is that because Haiti was one of the first black free nations in the world, a lot of white nations disinvested in Haiti, and the United
Absolutely.
States was one of them, right? And
Right. That's
so
right.
the reason why Haiti is in this economic position that it's in, and so many people are struggling and poor, which, by the way, a lot of black people don't, I don't think a lot of black
Whoa.
people understand geography, and that Haiti and the Dominican Republic is the same island.
Right.
It's
It's
the
on one
same
one
On the
island.
other
side.
side. Right.
Dominican is on the other
It's
side.
the
Yep.
same island. So how can you have
Right.
such a
Right.
drastic difference in lifestyle from one side of the island to the other if there weren't like so active things in place
They
that were
stripped.
working
They
in
stripped. They
opposition to
stripped
Haiti?
Haitian years ago. They stripped Haitian the ground. They stripped it dry, so it's not as plush on in Haiti as it is in the Dominican Republic.
That's not
I mean,
no.
that's
So let me
years
back
ago.
up. Let me back up. So that's not even accurate. What it is
Mm.
that Haiti doesn't have the resources to farm and to use the land the way the Dominican Republic has. On
Mm.
top of it, by Haiti becoming one of the first free nations, France levied a lot of taxes because
Hmm.
they
Right.
supposedly lost resources during
Hmm.
the revolt, right? And so ever
Right.
since then, there has been this economic pressure on Haiti that didn't exist on the Dominican Republic. And
Right.
so the Dominican Republic was able to utilize support from Spain because remember Haiti was a Spanish colony and a France colony.
Correct.
When Haiti gained its freedom, all of those Spaniards went to the Republic side of the island and they
Right.
continued to get support from Spain. Whereas the Haitians were left over, they were taxed and penalized by France. And so economically, you had one half of the island going up and the other half going down. Since
Right.
then, you started having other governments come in and you had corrupt individuals taking over. That's why there were so many different
All those
revolts
billions of
and coup
dollars that was
d'etats and things
given
that happened
to
over
So
help
okay,
time
well then,
Haiti
to the point
okay.
have
where
been right.
Now, Eric,
Haiti
and
just
you're
became like a playground for everybody who wanted to be corrupt.
now,
And so that's
Eric.
one of the reasons why it's in the situation it is in.
Now, Eric, you were correct when you first came on. You said I'm arguing a moral position, and you're right. And
Yes.
as we know, when it comes to law, your morals become law. The way that you believe morally is the way that you try to push the law out.
Yes.
But so my question to you then, with that being said, would you is your answer to do nothing because everything that you just mentioned, are you saying then the answer then is to not do anything, just let things continue to go the way that they are?
No,
I
not at
think that
all.
that
And
is
that's
okay.
no. But hear me out. So this is the reason why the Biden administration is even having this conversation. Where if you think about any previous, Haiti has been left to fend for itself for decades,
Forever.
right? So
Yeah.
the fact that we're even having this debate on whether or not to do something is a move in the right direction. I'm
So you
just
agree with
saying
me
that
then?
it's, huh?
You agree with me then? You say that we should intervene. If the government of Haiti asks for assistance, in this case they ask for military assistance,
But you're saying military assistance.
Well, for protection, not to go in bombing things. They're talking about to help stabilize the country because right now there's a rioting and things like that.
How would they do that?
So wait a minute. Words matter, right? Language matters. And so, Stace, one of the things I think that you're saying that's a little misconstrued is that you're saying that the government is asking for the U.S. military to step in, when the reality is what they have right now is a legal issue. It's not a military issue. Right. And so the U.S. government is basically saying, y'all work that out amongst yourselves.
Right. Because it's who's going to be the next leader.
Let me finish. Yeah. It's basically like if our U.S. president got assassinated and then we go and ask Canada for help, they're going to be like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all need to work that out.
Right. No, but they do. But there is a representative. I guess you would call it an acting person that's currently in place. Because the wife is in the hospital in the States. So that whoever that, I don't know the title, whoever that person is, that's the acting president is the person that asked for military assistance. So legally, it would be within his authority to do that. Because to use your example, if our president, let me finish this. To use your example, if our president was assassinated and the vice president went and asked for assistance, the vice president then would legally be authorized to speak for the country.
And do what though? But that's what I'm saying. And do what, Stace? What would let's say that the US said, okay, we'll help you out. But what you want us to do? Yeah. Well, I mean, what do we do? Somebody already has taken the position. Wait a minute, let me finish. Y'all let you finish. Now let me finish. Mm-hmm. So they already have taken, the next person has already stepped in line. There are two other people that are saying, you know what? We should be the next leader. So how would the United States even go about intervening in that? There's no way for us, unless we did what we did with Iraq and put Saddam in charge. Put Saddam in charge, unless we did something like that, it does not. We could, or we did a coup.
It's a criminal investigation. Right. It's not.
There's nothing else that the United States can do with that.
Yeah. We would be overstepping our boundaries in terms of this situation. It's different with a natural disaster, and the president say we need aid. But what this vice president, let's use the label vice president, right? Right. The president was assassinated. The president's wife is out of town. There's already 20 people that have been arrested in relation to the assassination. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. And so who arrested those 20 people? So that's the government. That's the military. There's a functioning government. There's still a functioning government there. So what would the U.S. military be doing?
Wait a minute. So if there is a functioning government, and again, if we're going to hold the title as vice president, again, if that vice president reaches his hand out on behalf of his nation that he represents legally and asks for assistance, you're saying that we see now.
What type of assistance would you provide?
He asked for assistance from the military to protect critical infrastructure, the water system, the food, the distribution system. So he's asking for, because that stuff will be looted or destroyed.
But what I'm saying, is that
a war.
No, he don't have he just because he's asking for it doesn't mean that he needs it. See, this is another thing about.
Who are we to judge whether the vice president, speaking on behalf of his country, asked for?
Who are we to go into another country and tell them who should run it?
No. Let me give you an example.
Right, go ahead.
Let me give you an example. You're You're President Biden, right? You're President Stace. And you got another country that says, yo, our president was just assassinated. We need you to send 200 of your troops here and put their lives at risk to protect our infrastructure. Meanwhile, we have a military, we have police, and all of those people are still here, and none of them was assassinated, but we want your backup. Would you be willing to put your 200 Americans in that situation?
It depends on the country.
It depends on what?
It depends on the country.
What?
You say what? What you say? What you say, Eric?
If it's a black country, yeah. What I'm saying.
You know what? Actually, Eric, you know what's funny? Let me say this though. You know what's funny? As I said when you first came on, like part of this is moral. And I do see the situation that Haiti has been in for so long as a result of corruption and everything else. And I do think that there is a need for stability. So I think
It
to a
is a
certain
need for
extent,
stability, but
right.
it's
So
not
to
our
a certain
job to
extent,
stabilize it, Stace.
But here's your no. Let me take it a step further. Let me take it a step further. If it's our duty now, it's been our duty for decades when
right.
Haiti was being devastated by natural disasters,
Agreed. I
and we
agree.
should
But
have done
I'm gonna
something.
tell you what
But you
happened with
don't
that.
not
was
just
We
because we
were
didn't move
supposed to
in.
have stepped in
Who?
when Haiti was destroyed by these natural
Would you
disasters.
say, Knight?
We were supposed to have stepped in when Haiti was
We
destroyed
did.
by these.
We sent.
No,
We
let
sent.
me
We,
finish. Let me
okay,
finish.
good.
We have all of these funds, and they set up like almost like a USA for Africa or USA for Haiti. All these funds raised billions of dollars, Stace, billions with a B. and the people that were supposed to go in and rebuild these infrastructures, they never went. The people that was supposed to go in and rebuild these towns and these cities and these water infrastructures never happened.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
let me give you some
So,
specifics, though.
listen, Eric. Then I got a question. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Okay.
No, I wanted to support what you were saying, but even more specific. It's not that they didn't go in, but it's because Haiti never had the infrastructure to even build those things initially. A lot of the organizations that did get money to go there, once they got there, they couldn't do nothing because there's no
But
infrastructure.
they still kept that
There's no
money.
construction plants. There was no way to get the resources there. And on top of the corruption, you have not only government officials that were corrupt, you got people like the individuals that control the ports, right? Where cargo is supposed to come
That's
in
what
and
I'm
out.
saying.
Well, they would be what you call it? They would be stiff arming them.
And we talking about billions of dollars.
Right,
Yes.
Like we're not talking about no little bit of money. We talking about,
Yes. And so
and
it
that's
was
what I'm
spread
saying.
out
So
amongst-
right.
it was a whole, it's a whole system.
So a question to both of you, one at a time. First to you, Eric. So are you saying that the United States shouldn't do anything?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, there you go. Terry, are you saying that the United States shouldn't do anything?
I don't think they should do anything militarily. No.
Okay, but do something, but just not military.
If they're going to do something, what they should be doing is help them rebuild their infrastructure like they should have did, 30 years ago.
Okay.
But as far as sending the military in there to help stabilize their government and all that, then no.
Okay.
Because if they send, like I said, if they send U.S. in there to stabilize it, the only way they're going to stabilize it is put one of their puppets in, and then nothing's going to change. It's still going to be the same old thing.
No, because
people
you already
taking
have
money.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Right, you already have a vice president there. Disregard.
But I'm saying what I'm saying is if they ask the U.S. to send somebody in and they put in who they want as a person running the country, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think they should do that. I think
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean when they said that they're a democratic nation, so they have to work it out democratically.
Okay, Eric, any last thoughts, man?
No, man. I listen. I love y'all conversations. I love the debate. So just got to brush up on the details a little bit more.
Yes,
it's complicated.
No, Eric. When we scaled everything down, it sounds like you agree with what I said, though. It sounds like
I'm saying we can't. The U.S., but it's the U.S., man. If we was running the U.S., the world would be a better place. But
if what?
If we were running this country, the whole world would be in a better place. But that's not what's happening. So.
Right.
Okay, Eric, man, it's a pleasure, big.
So wait,
hold
let him know, because as soon as you get off, he's gonna be like, "I told you he agreed with me."
He did.
Hey, my
you said the U.S. is sending the military to help them out, and I told you they should not send in the military to Haiti. All right, that's what I said.
That was a question for Eric.
No, that's for you.
Oh, wait a minute. Say it. Oh, no, you're right.
You said they should send in the military. Now you changing it up.
No, I'm not changing it up. I said if their vice president who was legally their vice president, asked for assistance.
What
And
kind
he
of
had
assistance? What kind of assistance?
I answered that. He asked for us to help protect his infrastructure. To ask Eric's question, yes, I would
Protect his
I would
infrastructure. So you're talking about the military.
I would accommodate his request. Yes.
You're talking about the military then.
Yes. If that's what he asked for, then yes, I would send it over.
So quick question. So Stace, do you think the U.S. didn't do that?
Say it again.
They didn't do that?
They said no. He said he's not sending over the military.
Right now, the FBI is in
Correct.
Haiti. Didn't you say
Correct.
that?
No, but we're talking about the FBI. We're talking about the military. I
Yeah,
said
but what I'm
Biden
saying is
said
that-
no to the military, but he sent over people to help with the investigation.
There you go. And that's
Right.
the smartest move that you could possibly do, because you don't want to get mixed up.
Right.
in
You
a
don't
whole
want the
nother family
military
thing.
over. That's what I
Now, I
was
don't
saying. You
disagree
don't
with
want
that,
the
though.
military.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with sending, again, but what I was saying is we have to do something. We have to do something. I understand that things happened years ago and we should have kicked in 30 years ago. I get that. But it's morally reprehensible to sit back and watch a country just fail, and not do anything. That's especially to your point, Eric. You're right. It is because it's a black country. I feel like I would need to do something.
Well, what you just described, Stace, has been at least 60 years of U.S. foreign policy.
They've been a democratic nation since 1804.
You've been watching them fail for a long time.
A long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And as I just said, well, that's why I'm not president, because I'd have had everybody over there.
He done had military jets over there like, nah, I'm going to send y'all president over. I'm going to tell y'all who the president is now.
Now, remember, I don't agree with that. I said, no, Terry, you can't put words on my mouth.
Yo, this is never ending. Yo, I'm going to leave y'all to it, all right? This is going to be a never-ending debate. But
no, it's not. We're about to wind it down. Thanks, Eric.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Eric. I appreciate you.
Take care. Just to finish it up, last point, Nike. I never said to do anything to affect their current governmental
sending the military to protect their infrastructure.
Critical infrastructure, right?
That's not how you do it.
It has nothing to do with their elected officials or putting anybody in. Nothing to do with anything.
If you send military troops over to another country, that's all about that, Stace. You can't just you can't just be sending people. You can't just be sending people overseas to fight a fight that's not our fight. We already sent, like you said, we sent the FBI over there to help them investigate. We've been sending aid over there, but the thing is, we can't send our military over there and tell another democratic country how to run their country.
Right.
You just can't do that.
And where we disagree, but Nike, listen to me though. Where we disagree is where I said I would send military, but I don't necessarily think that means you're going to tell them how to run their country. That's where we disagree. And to Shahida, I'm glad you enjoyed the dialogue. This was fun. I got to be honest. We should say Stacey Dowling is
ready to rumble for his.
hey, you know what? This is how we talk. Steve.
Hey,
good night. Any closing thoughts, man?
No, man. I just like this new format, man, of us being able to. I just wish people would, try to get more less shy about getting on air. You know what I mean? Hit us up. Just click the link. We'll let you in, say what you got to say. Right. You know what I mean? And we appreciate everybody for watching. This is
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable and it was informative. It was informative.
And good conversation, right?
Good conversation. Yeah. All three of the guests that came on all had something to talk about. A part of organizations. Look back at some of those previous links where Charmaine and Eric.
Shahida said she's gonna be ready next time. She's gonna be all made up. And she's gonna be ready to get on. She's gonna be ready to get on air. All right, Shahida, we're gonna hold you to that.
Candid conversations that help grow the people. Agreed. So, but again, what I wanted to say in closing was take a look at the links. Some people put down organization like the one that Eric mentioned, that organization in Zion Baptist Church. Look into that. Or or put your question in the link asking us the name of it, and we will repost it. And like I said, so there are resources out there. Let's do what we can to plug each other into these resources if we know about them. But I'm agree with you, Nike. I like the format. We always enjoy arguing. It's enlightening.
No, we didn't get a lot of response about like if people think we should keep this format. I think people are enjoying it just by the interaction that we're getting, though. Right. But let us know. If you want us to go back to the old format, we can do that. Or right. But we kind of enjoy this format. So let us know what you think.
Because we get to enjoy it. Right.
Yeah,
now Lynette said
keep it.
Nice.
Good. There you go.
So Nike, don't forget, they can catch all of these on all of the formats. They can catch these. If you like it on YouTube, we need you to subscribe because we need to show that people see what we're doing. You can watch the video.
And we're about to make a move to Apple YouTube as well.
Right.
So everybody just hold on.
Will be coming.
Yeah, and the merchandise will be coming soon after that. Right.
So check us out on all the major formats. We're working on the iPhone, whatever that is.
RealBrosLive.com if you miss our show. And then you can catch it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Real Brothers Live. And we're on anywhere else that you get your podcasts.
Right. Also, send in some show ideas.
We're working on it. Yeah.
Send in show ideas also. But thank y'all for checking us out. We enjoyed you. We hope you enjoyed us. And
we see y'all next week.
See you next week.
All right. Peace.